I'm here today at APIC 2018. I have the pleasure of being with Brent Nyberger, and we're here to talk about hand washing, electronic hand washing in particular. I have a couple questions for Brent that I'd like to hear his views on things we've seen in the market. Brent, the first question we have is, with everybody reporting 90% compliance, what incentive is there for a hospital to pick up a program and start monitoring, electronic monitoring, when the first thing they're going to find out is they're not 90%?
True. Jim, the fact of the matter is studies have been done for many years exposing the fact that true hand hygiene compliance across the country in any hospital is really never been able to move past the 40 to 45% mark. Even though the current methodologies for surveying and auditing what hand washing compliance is commonly reports it to be 90 to 95%. So the first thing that has to happen is hospitals have to start speaking the truth.
Well, that's a good point. It's good to have a foundation of the truth. Another thing we see as a deterrent for people thinking about this hand washing, there's quite a bit of experience in the field with systems that do take people maybe from 30% to 60%, and then they're faced with a gap, and their inability to go further is a deterrent for others to get started. Why would I start when I can't get to 100? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, there are a number of electronic monitoring systems on the market today that do a variety of things to try and fill some of this gap. However, 6 years worth of research and a lot of money spent, a lot of trial and error has taught us that you have to have two things to fully solve this problem and really get to the 100% compliance on a sustained, consistent basis. And those two things are, you have to have active reminders that kick in to tell the user that they have forgotten hand hygiene. The second is you have to hold the fact that it's being done in a very accountable way and communicate that to patients at the point of care. And that's the uniqueness of our system as compared to others on the market that only have reminder features. They have proven not to be able to move past a true compliance level of about 65 to 75%. So we always say, hey, what's the point of investing or implementing a system that leaves a 25% gap in the equation? And so I can actually demonstrate how that works if you'd like.
Well, let's take a moment to do that.
So this little badge that I'm wearing represents the device that healthcare workers will wear when they are actually working in the hospital. You'll notice it has a variety of little electronics and little signaling methodologies built into it. There are room sensors that are installed as well that detect when people go in, when they come out, and whether they've washed their hands or they haven't. If they forget, the badge will go into a reminder sequence that I can demonstrate here. So we use a combination of colored lights, primarily a green, yellow, red light indicator, as well a variety of audible tones and tactile vibration features as part of the reminder sequence. So the audible tones and vibration is for me, the user, but for patients, what they see is this change in hand hygiene status light. They're told, typically by way of an information card, to be aware of this and to know that green means clean, yellow is we're expecting hand hygiene to take place, and red is something we're really trying to avoid. So while this reminder process is taking place, all the healthcare worker has to do is either choose to sanitize their hands or wash their hands with soap and water. You'll hear about every 15 seconds how this badge is chirping at me. You can't feel it, but it's also vibrating on my chest. Now, if I choose not to do anything for a prolonged period of time, you might imagine this badge will then elevate to a red alert, which it's now done. Inside the badge are unique sensors that can actually detect the use of an alcohol-based sanitizer. So notice, I'm going to take my hand and do what we refer to as the pledge process and put it in front of the badge. My hand is currently dry, so nothing happens, and I'm not rectifying the requirement to do hand hygiene at this point in time. But if I add some sanitizer to my hand, by the way, that means any sanitizer, any manufacturer, any dispenser, any location while I'm continuing to interact with the patient moving around the room, and I can just demonstrate that here. I squirt it onto my hand, like so. I rub it around, and I pledge the badge now with the alcohol evaporating off of my hand, and the sensors inside the badge detect the presence of that alcohol and return the badge to green status.
Wow. Very impressive. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know you're off to an airplane very shortly,
Yes.
but I really appreciate your time. All the best. Travel safe.
And thank you for all that you guys do to help the cause of improving hand washing in hospitals.
Thank you very much.